Good morning, my name is Emily Quarles-Maurer, and I would like to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Pottstown. Welcome to all of you who are visiting in this sanctuary on this beautiful April day, and welcome to our visitors who are joining us on Zoom. And also welcome to those of you who are visiting our service online later. We know that you have lots and lots of choices for your time, and so we are so glad that you have chosen us. This morning, our musician is Cecilia Trainer, and we'd like to send a shout out to Rob Fairfield as our technology lead today. Thank you both. For over 50 years, the UUFP has been a liberal religious voice in the Pottstown area. As youth, we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We believe that it's okay that we're still learning, and the world is a big place for us to share and explore. The important thing is that we keep an open mind and support one another with a spirit of generosity. Perhaps most importantly, we believe that our circle of justice and compassion is big enough for everyone, no matter where they are in their journey. We hope your spirit and your heart and your mind are refreshed this morning as we explore that love, the way that love guides our experience of gratitude. We come together on Sunday mornings, not because we share a creed, but because we share a promise. We promise to support one another on our spiritual journey. Our services are very different every week, but the loving kindness we offer to one another always stays the same. So whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are, whomever you love, wherever you're from, we are so glad to have you with us today. All right, now is the time for announcements. If you have an announcement that you'd like to share, please come on up to the front, use the microphone and introduce yourself. Oh.
Hi, I'm Kay. We're having UU 101 and 102 today. Anybody who wishes may join. We have some people signed up for it. As most of you know, it's something that's required on the path to membership. But if you want to learn about art history, Unitarian Universalism, you're very welcome to stay. It's right after the service, probably around 11:45, somewhere around there. Okay, thanks.
Good morning, I'm Sam. I'll try to be as brief as possible. First thing I want to talk about, I'm the secretary of the board, by the way. On the back of the order of service is a survey that the worship committee truly looks at these things when you fill them out. Please put in comments like, oh, I like the story for all ages today. The music's really good today. Not the living Kay back there who's not playing much for us anymore, but the music's good. The speaker was good. The speaker was a little slow or rough, or I really like this topic. I mean, be honest with us because it's important that we know when we know, oh, we really need to try to get the speaker back again, those kinds of things. Also, the board met last Thursday. Yes. This past Thursday, sorry. It's been a crazy week. I had submitted previously a list of facilities and grounds projects, both that need to be done and wish list. I've had several people approach me that want to join the Facilities and Grounds Committee since I mentioned a couple weeks ago that John and I would be stepping down in 2 years. We're not stepping down now, we'll be stepping down in 2 years. So once I kind of get things a little bit more formulated, I need to get a few emails and I'll send emails out to people that want to help and what projects. The main project that is coming up, not real soon, but in about 6 weeks or so, Eric will be demolishing the ramp back here off the social hall and putting stairs in. The other projects that we're going to do is replacing the fence around the community vegetable garden. And another project is there's 2 doors here that will put a set of stairs and a ramp there, and that will be coming up as we get more formulation and figuring out what's code and what's ADA acceptable, compatible, those kinds of things. I'm done.
Good morning, am I reading? Do I need this? I do not need that. Anyway, we have an exciting workshop coming up this Saturday. It is through our Israel Elias Palong, one of the speakers that you guys have provided great feedback on our form. that Sam referenced. Thank you for filling out the form. So it is actually a fundraiser for our UFB. So if you guys can make it, please let me know today. I'll also be following up with an email about it, but it's a poetry workshop. And he's just a wonderful published poet. So if you guys can make it at 10:30 a.m. Through 12:30 p.m. next Saturday, it'd be really, really wonderful. We need 5 people to hold it. I'm still gathering names, so if you can make it, please do, please let me know. Thank you so much. We also will be holding Uplifting Voices Project Female Empowerment Night on the 29th of April at 6:30 p.m. Chad and I are super excited to see all of you there. A lot of you have RSVP'd already. It's going to be a wonderful night. We're expecting great attendance, which again is also a fundraiser for your UFB. So thank you guys. And yes,
On the poetry workshop, what is the age?
age is 12 on. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, 12 on, so you're welcome to come in. You know, if you have younger kids, we can also arrange for them to be entertained too. So don't let that stop you. Talk to me, okay? Thank you so much, guys. Yeah.
I'm Judy. I echo how fantastic Israel is. I just, and I heard his talk and bought one of his poetry books. His story, he's really good. He's really good. Unfortunately, I can't be there. I'm Judy and I'm just reminding everybody that there is not a seminar, but a tour of North Coventry Township. Tickets are on sale now. They're only $10 a piece. The 2 dates are Saturday, May 3rd and Wednesday, Wednesday, was it 13th? 9:30 and 1:30. There's several of us that are going. It's really affordable. You can learn all about this area. Children would love it. Well, children on Wednesday will be going to school. But Kay has sent out emails, bulletins. I put a copy of the notice, what it involves up on the bulletin board. So please join us if you can.
All right, everyone. So now is the time that I remind us that that same technology that helps to make the far-flung corners of the world a little bit closer in can also distract us from the here and now. So if you don't mind putting your phone into worship mode. Then once you've done that, you'd like to settle a little more firmly into your seat. And close your eyes if you feel moved. Take a nice deep breath in. And feel how your lungs expand with the air. Feel the connection of your feet to the floor, of your body to the chair. Listen to the sound of the other people in the room. Shh. Just enjoy how wonderful it is to be together. So today we are honored to have Mark Bernstein join us. Mark Bernstein is a former member of the Congregational Life Staff of the Central East region of the UUA and currently serves as an adjunct consultant. He comes to us from his home congregation of the UU Church of Delaware County in Media, Pennsylvania. And he's come back to see us again, and we are so grateful. Welcome, Mark. All right, do I have a volunteer to light the chalice tonight? Oh, Andy. And good work. All right. So we'll light our chalice with words by Katie Sivani Gelfand. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another. We offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate the simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the way that we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains it. All right, and our opening words are by Janine Boyd. At last, we are here. After a long winter, we can say enthusiastically and without a second thought, Alleluia. Alleluia, spring is here in all her glory. New life begins. The earth and its creatures are resurrected from their dens of hibernation and dark slumber. Spring is here. It really is here today. Long live spring. Long live the rebirthing of life into new and creative forms. Long live majestic love that calls us out of our shell, out of our tomb, into new ways of being and sacrifice for each other. Let the husks of our shells crack wide open in the celebration of our place in humanity, our place in nature, and our place in the whole universe. Alleluia. We are called to live life with reverence for that which calls forth in us creativity and love. Hallowed be, blessed be. Amen. And please join in singing Rise in Spirit or in Body, Blessed Spirit of My Life, which is number 86 in the range.
Good morning. I am very, very happy to be back with you again. I've mentioned that other times I've been here, I spent a lot of time in this neck of the woods, traveling 422 back and forth for 13 years from my home in Delaware County. It's nice to be back here. 422 looks a heck of a lot different than it did when I was doing this back in the 70s. Also, I wanted to say that when you fill out your feedback form, $5 to anyone who gives me high marks. If any of the youngins or John would like to come forward and see the book a little better, you're welcome to either sit on the floor or sit in the chairs up front. I can't give you $5 though. Oh, I'd get down there with you, but it would take me the rest of the worship service to get back up. So I'm gonna stay here. This is called The Sour Grape by Jory John and P. Oswald. I'm a grape, a sour grape. Grr. If somebody upsets me, I'll remember it. If somebody wrongs me, I won't forget it. If somebody insults me, I'll never ignore it. Nope. See that banana over there? That banana slipped and bumped into me, so I'm holding a grudge. See that orange? That orange didn't call me back for a week. Grudge.
Yeah.
See that line? That line borrowed my scarf and never returned it. Grudge. I suppose I've got pretty thin skin for a grape, but nobody steps on this grape. I'll tell you how I got this way. It was my birthday. I had rigorously and vigorously planned a big party for weeks. I'd sent out invitations with the date prominently displayed. Get this, I had a Ferris wheel, a magician, and hay rides. I had snacks upon snacks upon snacks. The highlight of the party, though, was a fireworks display, which would happen at sundown. I stood out front and waited for folks to arrive. I had a gigantic smile on my face. I waited. Everybody was a little late. It seemed no big deal, no big whoop. So I waited. A tumbleweed rolled by. A coyote howled in the distance. The sun sank beneath the hills, but I waited. Nobody showed up, and I mean nobody. By the time the fireworks show started with me as the sole spectator, I was scowling. I considered everybody I'd invited, and only one thought came to mind: grudge, 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 grudge. I started holding minor grudges that eventually became major grudges. I scowled so much that my face got all squishy. I took my grumpiness out on others, and that's just how it's been day after day, week after week, month after month, grudge after grudge. But something happened recently that changed my thinking. I was pretty ready to meet up with my friend Lenny, the only fellow I know who's as sour as I am. Lenny and I usually go to the park where we sit on a bench and rant about stuff. But just as I was heading out the door, I bumped my knee. Ow! After I bandaged myself up, I discovered I had a flat tire. Then I missed the bus, and the next bus was late. Finally, I got off at the wrong stop. By the time I arrived at the park, it was getting dark. Lenny was fuming and furious, with a frown and a furrowed forehead. His face looked all squishy. I tried to explain why I was so tardy, but Lenny wouldn't listen. He'd already made up his mind. He'd formed a huge grudge and he wouldn't budge. I couldn't believe it. How unfair, I thought. How ridiculous, I thought. How similar to the way I would react. Yeah, Lenny was pretty worked up. He was pacing back and forth, emitting occasional grumbles. His tone was tart. So I gave him a little space. Besides, it was nice out. I noticed the sky changing colors, the melodic chirping of the birds, the evening breeze, the buzz of the park's insects coming alive at night. I suddenly felt grateful and peaceful and calm. Had I been missing all this simple beauty because I was too busy complaining? Meanwhile, old Lenny stormed off muttering something about disrespect and lack of consideration. I'm pretty sure I heard him add a grr too. I walked home. I pulled a dusty box out from under my bed. There were old family photos inside. And that was the exact moment I found the invitation I had sent out for my infamous birthday party, the one where nobody showed up. It said May 31st. But wait a minute. My birthday was on May 21st. Alas, I told everyone to come on the wrong day. It was all my fault. I realized nobody's perfect, not even me. After that day, I started noticing other things too, like how remaining sour all the time is so draining. I wasted so much energy holding grudges when I could have easily cleared the air if I felt hurt. And yes, I still get upset from time to time, but that's okay. Because now I talk and I listen and I work things out instead of just walking away. My sourness is fading. I'm letting go of all my grudges, and hey, it's working. Sure, sometimes I still let out a little grr when I'm frustrated, but then I move on. My face is less squishy too. Oh, and don't worry, things are okay with Lenny again. You know what? If you look at things in the right sort of way, and if you remember to be kind, considerate, forgiving, and grateful, life really can be pretty sweet. Yes, indeed. The end. Thank you for listening to my story. We will sing the children out, hymn number 413.
Right, this is the time in our service where we have our morning offering. And this is an offering by Michael Paul. He said, as we approach the time of our offering, give what you will. For the church that has meant so much to you, for the church that's meant so much to those who came before you, and for the church that will mean so much to the people that haven't met yet. Give what you will, for you are a generous people. And for those of you who are visiting us for the first time, the gift of your presence is generous and thank you so much for the morning offering that's received in gratitude and
I'd like to begin with a reading by Josh Barad. I should be grateful. If I've heard those words once, I've heard them a million times. Just recently, a woman said this after spending several minutes crying. Underneath her words, all I felt was her anger and sadness. Like many of us, somewhere along the way, she was told that she's supposed to be happy and grateful for what she has. Grateful for all the opportunities that life has presented her. Grateful for the little time she has for herself. She was told to shy away from expressing her true emotions and to spend her time reciting affirmations that she didn't necessarily believe in instead. As I listened to her story, I recognized a pattern that has played out in my own life. It goes something like this. I feel sad. I'm not supposed to feel sad. There's no reason to be sad. I'm not that kind of person. My life is great. I should be grateful. We judge, reason, analyze, and rationalize our feelings in an attempt to feel in control. Yet we often forget that our feelings are there for a very good reason. When we allow ourselves to naturally express how we're really feeling, a shift occurs and new feelings tend to show up. A few moments of feeling anything but grateful in your body allows it to change. Imagine giving yourself time to feel whatever you're really feeling. Imagine shelving the judgment, analysis, and rationalization for just a few moments. The words of Josh Farad. An old Jewish man was walking along the beach one day with his grandson. Now, let me tell you about this old man. All his life, nothing ever satisfied him. He complained about everything. He always focused on what he didn't have instead of appreciating what he did have. The only thing he never complained about was walking along the beach with his grandson, which is what he was doing on this fine summer day. Suddenly, a giant wave appeared on the horizon and headed toward the shore. It engulfed the grandson, lifted him up, and carried him to sea. The grandfather immediately got down on his knees and looked up at the sky. Lord, he said, please bring back my grandson. I promise I will change my ways. I won't be dissatisfied any longer. I will never complain about anything. I will be grateful for whatever comes my way and not focus on what I am not given. Just please return my grandson to me. Just then the wave appeared again, this time carrying the grandson toward the shore. The wave rushed over the sand and gently deposited the grandson on the ground and receded out to sea. The grandfather, with tears in his eyes, looked at his grandson for a good long time. He then turned to the sky and said, he had a hat. How ungrateful this man was. His prayers had been answered, his grandson was returned to him, yet instead of being grateful, he complained about what was not returned. From childhood, we have been taught to be grateful for what we have, to count our blessings, to roll with the punches, to grin and bear it, to have the patience of Job, to make the best of it, to take your medicine. Complaining about anything was met with a sharp rebuke and charges of being an ingrate. When I didn't finish my vegetables and was told that there were people in China that go to bed hungry, right? My response was always, well, send these to them. I always thought it was a very witty retort, but it was never greeted with the kind of humorous reception I thought it deserved. Quite the contrary. Barbara Rainey, in her book, Growing Together in Gratitude, writes that gratitude is not natural. It is an attitude that must be taught and nurtured. And it is a task more difficult for parents in the West because of our abundance and prosperity. And Neil Burton, in an article entitled The Psychology of Gratitude, tells us that, quote, gratitude never came easily to us human beings and is a diminishing virtue in modern times. In our consumerist society, we focus on what we lack or what other people have that we don't. In thought and in literature, the ungrateful person was cast in the most negative light. In Shakespeare's King Lear, for example, Lear says, ingratitude, thou marble-hearted fiend, how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. For philosopher David Hume, ingratitude is the most horrible and unnatural crime that a person is capable of committing. And for Immanuel Kant, it was quite simply the essence of vileness. Imagine these guys at a cocktail party. And even science weighs in on this issue of gratitude. There are studies that contend that some people are not hardwired to show gratitude, that for some of us, gratitude just doesn't come easily. Research suggests that these differences may be rooted in our brains, our genes, and even our personalities. Some people, in fact, and you know who you are, have a deficiency in the genes responsible for the secretion of the hormone oxytocin and the chemical dopamine, both of which are associated with increased levels of gratitude. Or it could be certain personality factors that act as barriers to gratitude. In particular, those prone to envy, materialism, narcissism, and cynicism can be thought of as, quote, thieves of thankfulness. While lack of gratitude is generally cast in a negative light in our society, the presence of gratitude is seen as a cure-all for what ails us and is deemed almost necessary as a trait of good and kind people. We all know the Aesop fable about a slave who pulls a thorn out of the paw of a lion. Sometime later, the slave and the lion are captured, and the slave is thrown to the lion. But the hungry lion rushes toward the slave, but upon recognizing his friend, he fawns upon him and licks his hands like a friendly dog. Gratitude, Aesop concludes, is the sign of noble souls. Study after study has linked gratitude with increased satisfaction, motivation, and energy, better sleep and health, and reduced stress and sadness. Gratitude is linked to a host of psychological, physical, and social benefits, stronger immune systems, lower blood pressure, more feelings of joy, and a greater sense of social connection. So why not feel gratitude all the time? If gratitude is so good for us, and if lack of gratitude is hideous, horrible, and vile, why not choose gratitude? Certainly, it's easy to be grateful when life is going well, when your family is healthy and your job is motivating and self-fulfilling, and when the Mets are winning, not the Mets, the Phillies are winning. I'm originally from New York. But what about when nothing seems to be going your way? How can you feel grateful when you're unhappy, struggling, bitter, sad, frustrated? It can be much harder to feel genuine gratitude when life, well, sucks. Author Ben Schwartz offers this. We've read many self-help books that push the gratitude idea. Make a gratitude list, keep a gratitude journal, focus on what you're grateful for in order to feel more positive and attract more good things into your life. But most people, he continues, secretly find it very difficult to truly, genuinely feel gratitude when life is really hard. Those times that you actually need positive energy the most. Now, let me be clear. I am not a proponent of ingratitude. I get the importance of feeling gratitude and sharing it with others. But when life is hard, there are reasons, good reasons, for forsaking gratitude, at least in the moment. For one, gratitude can become a tool for avoiding other healthy emotions. It can sometimes overshadow or suffocate or diminish other emotions that naturally arise during life's trials and tribulations. While gratitude can help balance feelings like sorrow, regret, or sadness, it can become dangerous when it interferes with the ability to experience and express a wide range of emotions, including those emotions needed to recover or heal from deep pain or loss. If we don't acknowledge and confront those feelings, we may never get past them. And gratitude can often serve to sidetrack us, to smooth things over, so that we don't have to acknowledge and confront these feelings. As Josh Barad told us in the opening reading, we often forget that those feelings are there for a very good reason. Using gratitude to avoid less pleasant emotions can impede longer-term growth and progress. This is particularly evident in the use of the words at least, as the author and motivational speaker Brene Brown tells us. My youngest son is struggling with opioid use. Yes, but at least your older boy is doing well in school. My wife and I are having marital problems. Well, at least you have a marriage. We're having problems making ends meet. At least you have a roof over your head. When we hear and believe someone else say at least, or when we tell ourselves at least, we give ourselves permission to deflect the challenges or difficulties in front of us, and so put off or avoid completely dealing with them directly. Not feeling gratitude doesn't mean choosing anger or bitterness. It just means that we decide not to raise our expectations and risk disappointment or betrayal. It allows us instead to be neutral, to be more open to life's little pleasures as they come or if they come. It helps us to avoid taking things for granted. A wolf had been gorging on an animal he had killed, when suddenly a small bone in the meat stuck in his throat and he could not swallow it. He soon felt terrible pain in his throat and ran up and down groaning and looking for something to relieve the pain. He tried to induce everyone he met to remove the bone. "I would give anything," said he, "if someone would take it out." At last, a crane agreed to try and told the wolf to lie on his side and open his jaws as wide as he could. The crane put its long neck down the wolf's throat and with its beak loosened the bone till at last he got it out. "Will you kindly give me the reward you promised?" asked the crane. The wolf grinned and showed his teeth and said, "Be content. You have put your head inside a wolf's mouth and taken it out again in safety. That ought to be reward enough for you." Sometimes just being, just knowing that our head is inside the wolf's mouth and that we are able to remove it safely should be enough to satisfy us. Sometimes we need to just embrace our feelings of sadness or defeat or anger without trying to sugarcoat it or look for a silver lining. Sometimes we just need to be content with what is. As social worker Jennifer Gerlach offers in this closing quote, "If you aren't feeling grateful, that's okay. Notice what you are feeling, allow it to be there. You don't have to immerse yourself in it, but you don't have to make it go away either. It's okay to be here in this moment, taking everything in." I wish all of you peace, love, and contentment this moment and every moment to come, with or without a hat to wear. So may it be. Please rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn of the 331. Life is the greatest gift of all.
Now is the time in our service where we share our joys and our concerns. So we can share the things that are making us so happy that we can't contain ourselves, or the things that we need an extra shoulder to help us bear. If you have something this morning that is lifting you up or weighing you down, please come on up to the front, say a few words if you choose. And now it's time to extinguish our chalice. So if you'll join me in reading the chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flower flame, and not united to the sun, warm sensitivity for the fire to make. Each friend are in our hearts and in our hands, till we are together again. And we'll close today with words by Charles A. Howe. May we go forth from this place thankful for the life that sustains and renews us, and open to the grace that surrounds and surprises us. May we go forth from this place with openness and with thanksgiving. Please join me in listening to the postlude. Shalom, salam, blessed be, and thank you for joining us today. Let's all go have coffee and snacks.